Hey guys, Lara here, and today I'm going to show you how to take your Amiibo out of the box without completely destroying it. Now if you're like me, I'm really interested in the box art that they put on these, and it's quite disappointing that there's no way to take them apart without destroying the box. Now, throughout ways of thinking and looking at other people on the internet, I've come to the conclusion that the best way to take them apart is by cutting through the bottom. Now as you see from a collector's standpoint, there's not really much damage done, so the value wouldn't go down. Now, when trying to extract your Amiibo from this box, you're going to want to be very careful, as in with a couple of my Amiibos, I happen to tear the edges. Now if you see here, when trying to take the Amiibo out, I did rip part of the box, but it's not very noticeable from a distance, and if I wanted to fix it with some kind of glue or adhesive, it would work properly. Now, I'm not a huge collector, but the way that Nintendo did this box art, I wouldn't want it to go to waste by just ripping the whole thing apart and, throwing it away in the garbage. Now, if you're like me and you actually like to open and use the stuff that you're trying to collect, but you don't want to destroy any kind of value that it could have in the future, the best way, from what I've seen, is going through the bottom, and I personally use an X-Acto knife, ones that you would use for model building. This X-Acto knife has been used, and it's kind of old, so it's not as sharp, but any kind of X-Acto knife, scissors may work depending on the edge and how you hold them, but that could result in some injury. Now, as you cut down this section, it's going to be the easiest part since it is divoted and the plastic is not as strong here. You're just going to want to be careful because it does vary in size with the plastic, so you don't want to hurt yourself. You're going to go straight down from this edge where it bezels over. Now as you go down, the plastic is going to change in its thickness. And some parts you might be able to get in real thin where I got through up here. But down at the bottom it gets a little thicker down where there's more resistance. So you're just going to be careful and make sure you don't hurt yourself. That's the biggest part of this. It's just it's just a figure, and you don't want to hurt yourself over, I think it's like $12.99. So as you see there, I pushed a little too far and I broke through. I still cut the plastic, but I cut through a little far where it's separated from the cardboard. And this happened on a couple of my Amiibos, my Link Amiibo and my Mario Amiibo. It happened, and you can't really tell when looking from it, but it's something you'd want to avoid. I have a couple of them, and it's not really a big deal with me because I'm not a hardcore collector. But for someone else, this might be, a horrible thing that happened. So I'll just stress the fact that you need to go a little slower, because when you look at it on a shelf, you can't really tell that it ever even happened unless you picked it up and started pulling on it. Now you'll repeat the same thing to the left side, and hopefully not separate it anymore as I did on this side. So after you've made your two cuts, you're just going to fold this plastic up and kind of hold it there. You're going to take this cardboard, fold it up, and it'll be two flaps here. Now, you have two options when you get to this stage. You can either pull off this kind of adhesive foil, which actually stops the NFC connection from your Wii gamepad to your Amiibo. And if you take this off, your Amiibo will work with the box. So if you were very meticulous with this process and happen to not cause any separation in the cardboard like I had earlier, then you could possibly do like a small patch on the plastic, glue it up, and be able to use your Amiibo in the box. I personally like to take my Amiibo out and display it, so I will not be removing this, and I will be just pulling the Amiibo out. Now, this is probably one of the hardest parts and scariest parts of taking the Amiibo out, because you have to pull it out and it can cause separation. Now, my Donkey Kong Amiibo separated from the back on the left side because when I pulled it out, it was just too much stress between the plastic and the cardboard and caused it to rip. It wasn't too bad of a rip, but it was a stress point down here, which is I've seen very common on a lot of the Amiibos I've been trying to take out. I usually just kind of, grab the base here and kind of pull out. This will probably be easier for you guys because you won't have to do it on camera. You'll be able to get your own kind of leverage, but I would like to, show you. So I usually try to hold the cardboard back here and make sure nothing separates and kind of pull it out. You know, and once you've got it out, you know, there's Little Mac for you. Now, I usually put my cardboard back in before I replace the plastic holder. Make sure everything's in line. And there's Little Mac for you. Just snap those tabs back in and replace it kind of the same way. It's a lot easier to get back in than it is to take out, which is very unfortunate. But you want to make sure you reset the cardboard properly, because you know you don't want anything misaligned if you went through all this work just to take it out. Some Amiibos will be easier to take out due to their give in the plastic. I would assume the consistency isn't exactly the same across all packaging types, so results may vary. But essentially there it is, removing of the Amiibo without destroying the box from, you know, a normal person's eyes who would just walk by and look at this on a shelf or look at this somewhere displayed. Say if I had Little Mac on top, you know, on a shelf like that, no one would even know that I cut a hole in the bottom and, you know, tore the sides a little bit. It looks like I went to a store and bought it. And I hope that this helped you, and thanks for watching. See ya.